This free step-by-step video comes to you directly from Haynes. You can complete more than 200 jobs on this vehicle when you purchase the complete Haynes online manual at haynes.com.
Note: Renault only supply the thermostat complete with the housing. Aftermarket suppliers may supply the thermostat as a separate part. The thermostat is located in the cylinder head outlet elbow housing on the left-hand side of the engine. Warning: wait until the engine is cold before starting this procedure. Do not allow antifreeze to come in contact with your skin or with the painted surfaces of the vehicle. Rinse off spills immediately with plenty of water. Never leave antifreeze lying around in an open container or in a puddle in the driveway or on the garage floor. Children and pets are attracted by its sweet smell, but antifreeze can be fatal if ingested. Pull the bonnet release latch located on the passenger side kick panel. Lift the bonnet safety latch and raise the bonnet upwards. Remove the battery cover by releasing the side retaining clips. Warning: the negative battery connections are close to exposed battery positive connections. Use extreme caution to avoid the spanner from shorting on the positive cable whilst loosening the nut. We recommend covering the exposed positive connections with a suitable insulation material such as a plastic bag or electrical tape. Loosen the negative battery cable nut, then slacken and remove the negative battery cable from the terminal. Secure the negative cable out of the way to avoid accidental reconnection. Partially drain the cooling system so that the coolant level is below the thermostat location. With the engine completely cold, remove the expansion tank filler cap. Turn the cap anti-clockwise, wait until any pressure remaining in the system is released, and then unscrew it and lift it off. Jack up the front of the car and support it on axle stands. Remove the engine undershield. For draining of the cooling system, the radiator drain tap is difficult to access and requires the removal of the front bumper. To avoid this, the cooling system can be drained by removing the lower main coolant hose connection to the engine. Remove the spring clip from the hose with a suitable tool. Release the hose and catch the coolant in a suitable container. To assist draining, open the cooling system bleed screws on the thermostat housing and on the heater hose. Refit the hose to the engine and secure the spring clip. Refit the engine undershield. Lower the car to the ground. Though not essential, access to the thermostat housing will be improved by removing the battery. Loosen the positive battery cable nuts and remove the positive battery cable. Unbolt and remove the battery clamp. Where applicable, pull out the battery vent pipe from the top of the battery and move it to one side. Make sure that the vent pipe cannot be trapped when the battery is refitted. Lift out the battery using the handles provided on top where applicable. Use caution, the battery is heavy. To improve access, unclip the necessary hoses from the thermostat housing. Disconnect the hoses from the thermostat housing, noting their locations. Disconnect the wiring plug from the coolant temperature sensor. Unbolt the housing and remove it, recovering the sealing ring gasket. If the thermostat can be renewed separately, it should be lifted out of the housing. Note how it is fitted, as any vent holes should be at the top. Fit a new sealing ring or gasket to the thermostat housing. Transfer the coolant temperature sensor to the new housing. Renew the seal on the sensor. Secure the sensor with the spring retaining clip. Clean off the thermostat mating surface on the engine and ensure that no old gasket material or debris is remaining. Install the thermostat housing assembly into the engine. Tighten the mounting bolts to 12 Newton meters. Connect the wiring plug to the coolant temperature sensor. Connect the coolant hoses to the thermostat housing and secure the hose clamps. Reattach the necessary hoses that clip onto the thermostat housing. Refit the battery evenly onto the battery tray if removed previously. Then fit the clamp onto the battery. Tighten the clamp bolts securely. Make sure that all the mating battery terminals and cables are clean and will provide a solid connection before connecting the cables. Clean up any metal shavings and debris that is on or around the battery area. Connect the positive cable first. Tighten the cable nuts securely. Connect the negative cable last and tighten the nut securely. Smear petroleum jelly on the battery terminals after reconnecting the leads to reduce corrosion. Refit the battery cover. Refill the cooling system. Before attempting to fill the cooling system, make sure that all hoses and clips are in good condition and that the clips are tight. Note that an antifreeze mixture must be used all year round to prevent corrosion of the engine components. With the expansion tank cap removed and the cooling system bleed screws already open, slowly fill the system until the coolant level reaches the max mark on the expansion tank. Close the bleed screws in turn when coolant, free from air bubbles, emerges from each one. Start the engine and run it at a fast idle speed, approximately 2000 rpm. As soon as the engine is running, top up the level in the expansion tank if necessary, then refit and tighten the expansion tank filler cap. The cap should not normally be removed when the engine is running, nor when the system is hot. Allow the engine to run at 2000 rpm until the cooling fan has cut in and out 3 times. Stop the engine and allow the engine to cool for at least an hour and preferably overnight. Recheck the coolant level, top up the level if necessary and refit the expansion tank filler cap. The level should be between the min and max marks when the engine is cold. Check for unwanted leaks and proper thermostat operation.